Hi, Rich Pellegrino, Rich the Equalizer Pellegrino, with the Global Woke Institute website, howwokeami.org, YouTube channel, global at Global Woke Institute, and the same for the social media pages, where you can find much more information and longer videos, podcasts, and so forth, and posts. Tonight's episode, tonight's short is entitled The Dark Truth, named after the movie of the same name, the 2012 film based on some true facts, um, and with Eva Longoria um, and Andy Garcia and Forrest Whitaker, some of the actors in it. Um, This film really answers all the questions, the dark truths about why America and the world is the way it is. Okay, and what role America has, the dark truth about what role America has, and really answers a lot of the questions. Tonight was a debate between one person a deranged person who really doesn't have the qualifications to be a dog catcher, versus Vice President Harris, who is way smarter, uh, way more advanced in every regard. But that person that is disguised as an ex-president dog catcher called constantly um, denigrated millions of people who've come here from other countries um, as refugees and immigrants, even claiming that they're eating dogs and cats here in Ohio, which has all been debunked. Those are Haitians, by the way, immigrants that he was denigrating. Um, but the dark truth shows uh, how our companies and our country, our corporations, produce refugees all over the world, and that's the reason why people are coming. This movie starts out in Ecuador, takes place in Ecuador and Africa and so forth, and shows how our companies, with the backing of our government and the CIA, exploits all of these countries and exploits the poor and pays off corrupt military and mercenaries to disrupt and manipulate these countries' economies. So the dark truth is that these people have a right to come here. They'd rather stay in their own countries, but we've forced them out through our economic policies. Watch this movie. It's a 2012 movie. I believe it's on Prime and maybe other channels. But it really shows the dark truth of why all the problems in the world today exist. And it's all based on profit and greed. Okay? Greed, profiteers, greedy profiteers. Whether we're talking about Congo, where we have slaves producing components of this phone and computer that I'm using right now, okay? And all throughout South America and Central America, where we've enslaved people. Um, our corporations have gone in and enslaved people. And it also shows why we have inflation at home, because that dog catcher of a candidate gave massive tax breaks to those same profiteering corporations who then price gouged us. Okay? So, um, really, the dark truth uh, exposes all of the dark truths and lies. Most of this debate um, by the dog catcher gentleman, and that's saying it nicely, were lies. I mean, most of what he said were lies. Um, and America under Democrats or under both parties lies by omission constantly, okay, by not telling us the dark truths of what's going on, why. we have interests in the Middle East, in Israel, why we have interests all over the world. Okay? So watch The Dark Truth, the movie, if you want to know the truth of why we have the problems here. Why do we have violence? Why do we have a culture of violence? Again, profiteers, the arms industry here, there are merchants of death. They spend millions and hundreds of millions to convince people that we need to be afraid of each other and arm ourselves and arm other countries and so forth. So they're peddlers and merchants of death and violence. That's why we have such a violent society. Okay, to try to we don't have, the interesting thing is there's other countries like Switzerland, Canada, and so forth that have more guns where everybody owns a gun, right? But they have way less violence, way less mass shootings, and so forth. Why? Because we have indoctrinated our population to be afraid of, quote, the other. You can see it. This guy who's running for president, who has no capacity, mental capacity at all, to do so, um, that's all that he talks about. All he does is stir up the fear of the other. That's the only way he can get votes and followers, okay? Because we've been so indoctrinated to be afraid of the other. So you add that to a proliferation of guns. That, by the way, that's a massive mental health issue. That's paranoia, okay? Massive paranoia. And so you add that to the proliferation and easy availability and accessibility of guns, and what do you have? The perfect storm, and that's what we've created here. So watch the movie The Dark Truth. Sorry to share all these dark truths tonight, but we need to know. We need to know the truth. The truth will set us free. Watch the movie, and it will show you every single thing and aspect of it is accurate. Okay, about what's going on and why we have the problems that we have and the issues that we have. Thanks, and signing off for tonight. Ciao.